Hey guys, and welcome back to Mondays with me, Dr. Crystal. So today we're going to continue a series I started where I teach you guys about injuries that I've had. Last time we talked about when I broke my ribs playing basketball. Today is actually another basketball injury, but we're talking about fingers. Let's go. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to talk about the time where I injured my finger. So I guess we have to start with the story time, right? This one is not very exciting at all. If any of you are basketball players or were in the past, you know that it's super common to jam your fingers. I was in practice one day in high school, ball hit the tip of my finger. I thought I jammed it, and that was it. It was nothing exciting. I had jammed my finger tons of times, so I thought that's what happened, but it hurt a little worse than usual. It was swollen, like normal when you jam your finger, but I noticed that it hurt really bad, like when I tried to type on the computer. So like I couldn't press the buttons because it hurt. So went to like CVS or something, got a splint, put it on there, but like my fingers are not that big, and so the splint was kind of too big. Never went to the doctor or anything. And yeah, so I had a splint on my finger. Obviously, it's not easy to catch a basketball with a splint on your finger, and so I just tossed it after trying to wear it in practice for like 10 minutes. It took a really long time to stop hurting, like longer than it usually would take when you jam your finger. And then when I finally took a good look at it, it looked like this. And if you take a look from my other hand, you can tell that this one is bent and this one is straight. They're sisters, not twins. At the time, I didn't really know what that meant, and I didn't really care because it stopped hurting. I could use my hands, so we're good. It wasn't until I started learning about sports medicine that I realized what had happened to my finger. So this is called mallet finger. Mallet finger is an injury to the extensor mechanism of the finger. This is flexion for fingers, this is extension. If someone comes in acutely with mallet finger and you look at their fingers, and we can use this one for example, you'll see that they can flex, they can do everything normal this way, but they can't extend that tip of their finger. I literally cannot extend it past this. So the reason this happens is because the tendon that helps you extend this finger comes along the back, and it either pops off, gets torn, sometimes there's a fracture associated with it, and so if it's not attached there anymore, it can't help you lift it up. The vast majority of time, if there's not a fracture, this is a non-surgical injury. So what should have happened is I would have went to the doctor and they would have put me in a splint that would straighten my finger up to the way it would be if I could extend it by myself and keep it that way for 6 to 8 weeks. When I say 6 to 8 weeks, I mean consistently. This is where people mess up. During that time, you have to stay in the splint. If their finger comes down even one time, they take it out in the shower to wash their hair, you have to restart. I think this is a really cool injury because people come in not able to extend their finger. I put them in this splint. We follow up a couple times, obviously, in the meantime, but 6 or 8 weeks later, they come back, their finger's not drooping anymore, and they have normal function. And it's awesome that they don't have to do surgery to just reattach that tendon. It heals down, and most people regain normal function. This is actually a pretty common injury. Obviously, I had never heard of it at the time that I had this injury, but I see a handful of them every year in student health, every year in my 2 years. Really, the hardest part about treating this injury is getting people to really understand that it needs to stay in that extended position the whole time. And so if they come out of the splint, they have to hold it like this. It cannot go into flexion. And if they understand that, it heals up really well. You got to pound it into their heads. Anyways, by the time I learned about mallet finger, it was 10 years too late, and my finger is stuck like this. It's my little finger, doesn't keep me from doing anything, so it's fine. Every once in a while, I get a little sore around this joint, and I don't really like the way it looks, but besides that, it doesn't really bother me. So that's it. It's a pretty quick one. I hope you enjoyed learning about mallet finger today, and if you did, please don't forget to like this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want more videos like this. Otherwise, as always, please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.